Not that you asked me, but fuck. Not that you asked me, but drivers' cars are dead and flappy paddles killed them. The beginning of the end was when Ferrari introduced F1 tech to their road cars in 1997 with the introduction of the F355. Just over a decade and an IPO later, shareholder value won out against analog feel, and the gated manual was no more. Fanboys on the internet, myself included, talk about the gated manual as it's like the second coming of Christ, that it's like the holy grail of manual transmissions. Could it really be that good? I've been really lucky to drive some great cars, but I've never been lucky enough to drive a gated manual Ferrari until today. After shooting photos of cars for the last 15 years, I have some friends in pretty cool places, so I called up my buddy Kyle at Carriage House Motor Cars, and he said he had not one but 2 gated manual Ferraris he let me drive.
Can I rip it?
No.
One time?
No.
Just 8 then.
Do a pull.
Oh my god! That's so fun! That is impossibly fun. Fuck.
Yeah.
Okay, that was the last one. I tell you I don't have a driver's license?
Yeah.
Just kidding.
Oh, hell yeah, brother. Yeah, I'll be.
Yeah.
I see Kyle sweating over here in the passenger seat.
Yeah.
Holy fuck!
You're telling me you get sick of that?
No,
Yeah.
never. So I guess that brings me to why do we have gated shifters at all? Where did they come from? As far as I know, the gated manual was a racing thing, and it was so that racing drivers knew
exactly
what gear
they were going into. So you weren't going to make a mistake. The earlier race Ferraris actually had a lockout, and it was actually a little metal flap that would cover the reverse gear, so you couldn't go into reverse.
That's what I love, those little things like that about old Italian cars. It's just those little tactile, differences that made those cars so unique.
Right.
Man, there's no fucking reason to have one of these paddles.
Right.
It just feels like such a waste.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, you can.
Oh, fuck.
So.
Good brakes too. Officer. What are you saying?
Yeah, I have no idea. You got to remember when they introduced the F1 style gearbox, it opened up a new market. There's a lot of customers in the United States that don't know how to drive a manual transmission.
I mean, especially now, they call them millennial anti-theft devices.
Correct. The F1 style gearboxes.
Oh, God.
The F1 style gearboxes, are, especially in this generation, are very archaic. It's early technology. It does the job. So it's great technology, and there is a use for it. But
I mean, ultimately, the F1 gearbox was cool tech that they introduced because it was from Formula One, and everybody loved it at the time.
Right.
And now the dual clutch gearbox is much better than the original.
But when you realize how much more fun you can have with a manual, it's such a simple form. The manual gearbox, you can control the revs, so you can hear the exhaust a little better. Exactly my point.
God damn.
Yeah. There's nothing special about it, but that simplicity of it makes it, almost so wonderful to drive.
To me, what I think is crazy is Ferrari getting rid of this transmission altogether. To me, it's like if McDonald's up and just decided, fuck it, we're not going to have French fries anymore. Like, even though everybody loves French fries, we're just going to get rid of them. And it's like, I understand paddle shifters. Not everyone wants to drive stick, which if you're going to spend all this fucking money on a car, I don't understand why you wouldn't want to actually drive it yourself. But like,
I think there's more factors to it. When you have, say 75% of your clientele that still want an F1 gearbox, I don't know if it makes financial sense for them to manufacture and produce a transmission.
So many people have done gated manual swaps into 599s and 430s and 360s and challenge dollars.
Right.
And all these cars.
The market's there.
The market's there. So why doesn't Ferrari just wise up and say, pay us more, make it anything, just make it a fucking option. Just the fact that Ferrari or Lamborghini or any of these companies don't even offer you a manual as an option anymore is, I don't know, it's beyond me. It's so frustrating because to me it just means that there's no Ferrari for me to look forward to anymore. When I was a little kid, this was the fucking car that was on my wall. The 360, it was a challenge rally, but there was that hope that there was going to be new cars that were going to be coming out, and that you'll always long to own a Ferrari, and I don't have that feeling anymore, and it makes me sad. I've heard all the grandiose descriptions in the book of the gated manual, and right now I'm just trying to decide, is it this thing that's like this mythical beast?
Are you trying to say, is the manual transmission worth the premium over an F1 style gearbox?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, in dealing with these cars for as long as I have, and having the opportunity to drive both extensively, I mean, it's in no comparison.
How much is this?
This is $155,000.
$155,000. That's pretty good. That's like.
I think
How much is a 360 Spyder with the paddles?
With similar mileage, probably around 100.
So in this car, you're spending another 65 grand or something for this right here.
Right, exactly.
The only other 360 I've driven was a 360 Challenge Dollar, and ultimately that is my absolute favorite car from this era, except for that fucking F1 gearbox.
Yeah.
Like, truly, if that car had this transmission, it would literally be the perfect driver's car.
Absolutely. Or wait till you get into the 430. Definitely upgraded from the 360.
Well, Kyle, I gotta say, I don't really care what you have to say. I just want to drive
it. Yeah.
Oh shit! This is whoop.
Gearbox has got to warm up a little bit.
So that's a fun thing I've just learned about gated manuals. They don't necessarily want to work every time.
No, that's not true. No, it's like Usain Bolt. He just doesn't go out and win a gold medal. You got to stretch.
You got to warm up. All right, old girl, you got to warm up a little bit.
Yeah.
We won't ride you too hard just yet. The one thing I didn't touch on before was like the gated manual. What makes it so nice is that it makes this driving around at 3,000 RPM, at 40 miles an hour. It still feels like an exciting thing to do.
Yeah.
Like you don't have to be on the track to enjoy it.
Yeah, we're doing 55 miles an hour, and for something, it just feels like you're almost doing 200.
Yeah, because like if you were just hearing the paddles, you'd probably have it in automatic because we're just on like a normal road. And it would just be like, and there's nothing like exciting.
No,
like, you don't get to drive the car; it drives you.
There's something about this car that just feels right.
Oh, the rev matching.
Yeah.
This is the one. Like, if it's just for the rev matching that you choose a real manual over a fake one.
Yeah.
Make that fucking choice. It's worth it.
Yeah.
Like driving a Ferrari is cool, regardless of what transmission it is. Driving a gated Ferrari feels like you're shaking Enzo's hand.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
There was a quote from somebody famous, some famous racing driver or something that said, if you're in any higher than third gear, you're not having any fun.
Yeah.
And I live by that because you're at fifth gear or you're doing 200 or whatever. It's like, you're not having fun. Maybe you'll think about it as fun later when you finish the drive, but like you're not actively having fun. You're clenching your butt cheeks.
Yeah.
This, I am fucking enjoying myself.
Yeah.
And we're not doing anything. We're not even doing anything illegal or that illegal.
Yeah. your heart rate's elevated.
Yeah.
You know, like you feel the wind in your hair, you hear the sound. You know, this is that all-around driving experience. What I look for in a sports car, this is what it has everything. This is the total package.
I think the reason I started, or I wanted to make this show, or whatever the fuck you want to call this, is I've just been so disenchanted with all of the new cars, and it just makes me sad that
right when you
every
realize
new car,
when you realize how fucking awesome this car is, you're like, how come they couldn't go from this? You know?
Yeah, just make it an option.
Yeah.
It's a Ferrari. If you're buying arguably one of the best cars in the world, you should have the option.
Yeah.
You know, Ferrari says, oh, it's not, you know, it's not good enough. It's not fast enough for our fast cars. And that makes sense if you're taking it out on a racetrack and you're competing for tenths of a second. But if you're driving the car for fun, this is what you want. This is what you want.
Yeah. The disappointing thing for me is that this is, you know, such a unbelievably built car that you see the 458 and with all the technology and driving capabilities that car has. I mean, if that car had a stick, I mean, who knows how much fun it would be. You know?
Oh, I mean,
how much it would add to
there's
the
a
driving
company out there
experience.
that's converting Speciales into manuals, and it looks modificata. That's what it's called.
Yeah.
And I desperately want to drive those. So if you're out there and you want to let me drive one of your converted Ferraris that used to have paddle shifters and now has a proper manual, please let me know. I've always been a huge fan of Ferraris and stuff, and like I've always known that the gated manual was like the holy grail of manual transmissions, but it was like one of those things that I felt like, you know, an armchair expert. I'd never actually done it.
Right.
And now having done it, I feel like I can confidently say the gated manual is in fact the best fucking manual gearbox you can have.